Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 3. Yeah, just after 3 p.m. I'm in London.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess yeah, we can start with the brief overview. So my name is. I've been a software engineer at for about a year and well, yeah, about a little over a year by now. So I joined last year. Prior to that, I worked in a different firm in the finance industry
Okay.
here in London. At I'm within I'm within like the group you're interviewing for, right? So like
Yeah.
basically I don't know how much of the role has been described to you before now, but basically we kind of uh provide, we're like a quant tech group, right? And we provide like tools for like pre and post trade analytics
Okay.
for the managers and risk managers. So and this and we do this by implementing some software various software offering using like a microservice architecture.
Yeah.
At the bottom of everything, we have like an analytics library which is written with a collaboration of quant researchers and software engineers. So like they have all the like financial details in this library,
Okay.
and then on top of that, we build various services, in different languages, calling into this library, and also talking to each other. So
Okay.
within the Python team that I'm on, we are writing like backends for like UI widgets that portfolio managers are using to like do all sorts of completion.
Yeah.
And I think the team you're interviewing also writes Python microservices, and some of them are sort of like intermediary services transforming data from one format to the other. And I think maybe also you might do some UI backend work in the future. So yeah, that's sort of like the overview. Yeah, can you maybe talk briefly about like your current experience and probably like motivation to like switch roles? Yeah, so yeah, we do use like gRPC as sort of like our main communication protocol between our microservices. So that's something that we use extensively. I mean, we have other competing technologies, but that's sort of like the main focus.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, I guess yeah, can definitely offer you the kind of like sort of role that you're looking for, because yeah, it's not like a traditional like tech company. So the compared to well, the company first of all compared to small, and also like the tech teams yeah, are quite small, and there's a lot of opportunity to take ownership of like the stuff you're writing and be involved directly in the design. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So thanks for that. If yeah, I guess we can move on to like sort of coding exercise, if that's okay. So I don't know if you saw like a HackerRank link in your invitation.
Yeah, I think I see it.
Yeah, and the idea there is just to like check, like solve like a programming task together. So checking for Python fluency because it's a Python role, at least comfortability with Python, and then also just to like see how you reason about stuff in general. If not, I can give like a brief overview. So
I've used it before.
Okay, sure. So yeah, we can jump right in. So like the task is we have data which is sort of like a string that represents some structured data, and past data is actually the structured data that data represents. But we kind of want to go the other way around. So we start from data and end up in past data. So we want to write code that can, given this string, give us like the structured output.
Okay. So let me just modify this a little so it's easy to read. I assume this last one should have quotes around the 4 as well, or was that intentionally left out?
It's intentional.
Okay, so
and also the format
see.
is intentional, right? So
Okay.
so like
Okay, so you do want to keep the
yeah. So
magic.
yeah, I mean you can print it out. You can do like a print. So then it displays like in a way that is maybe slightly easier to read, but basically like we're trying to like maintain some invariance. For instance, that on every new line a key starts on every new line, right? So
Yeah.
or like a key will only start at a new line. So then we don't want like empty lines. So just to kind of simplify it a bit.
Okay. So I guess in that case, since there's a key on each new line, the first thing I'd want to do is split on new line. So I get the start of each key. And then since this is a string, that would give me a list of lines of strings. Then within each list, I'd want to iterate through list of lines. And as I iterate through, I know the key comes first in each string. And can I assume the key and the value will always be separated by a colon?
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, I can probably split on colon. I'd want to strip white space from each token. So if it gives me the key in the front, I want to get rid of that white space in the front. Similarly,
Yep.
the value, I want to get rid of the white space there. And can I assume that within the value, there won't be any white space inside?
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's a string, then it could have like white space,
Okay,
right?
so you want to preserve all of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, preserve all of that. And then keys for, yeah, so strip on white space from each token, and then create a dictionary where key is, I guess I'll just say key, which is the first part of this first part of split token. And value is second part of split token.
Yeah.
How does that look?
Yeah, so we split on new lines. So we get a list of lines of string. We iterate through a list of lines, split on colon, strip white space from each token, create a dictionary where key is key, and value is the second part. So is there anything extra we might want to do? So like if we look at, like
So I know 1 and 2, these are strings, and you want to keep the quotes around it, and 4 is also a string, but it has no quotes around it, but that would all be preserved when I'm adding it to the list. Similarly,
well, I mean, I guess
so you have like 1, 2, 3. So the decision to add the values to, well, this is already a key in the dictionary, so we just keep appending each one.
Yeah, I mean, sounds reasonable. I wanted to point out that the 4,
yeah,
because it's unquoted, we interpret it as an
number.
integer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Right, so parse any. Would I be given any floats as well? What are the data types I can assume? So string,
Let's
integer.
just keep it simple. String and int.
Okay.
Yep.
So parse non-quoted strings as integers. Define parse data. Where's the data? I'm going to want to return the data. This. I'll return that. Return parse data. Alright, so first I want to split. So let's say split data equals to data.split on colon. Let me just run this to verify. It's correct. Where is the run? Oh, it's down here. I jumped off of the split data. All right, this is oh wait, this is the output.
So on line 28,
I just realized that's the actual output, not the wanted data. All right, so key 2, value 1, value. All right, so key 2, I split on that, I get value 2, and then key 3. Because I have an issue there where the next part. All right, so let me split on the new lines first. Let's split new lines. Oh wait, I don't want to take what I already just split and split that again. This one just no split. All right, I have to iterate through the split. Well, let me make sure what was printed. Yeah, so key 2, value 2, that's good. Key 3, 1 is good. 3, 1 is good. All right, yeah, so that looks good. And I want to iterate through that. So for token in split data, say split token. Data right there, and then we print split token. So that'll be token.split on that, which should give me that. Let's see. All right, so key 2, value 2. Yeah, so key 2, that. Okay, that looks good. I believe in Python there is a pretty good utility function for strip in white space. Let me see if it was R strip. Let me check. Let's see if that's right. Oh, that's not R strip. Can I check documentation or?
Yeah, but I think the problem here is that you're stripping from a list. So R strip is right, is one of the functions.
Yeah.
But like split token gives you a list, and
R
strip only exists on the strings.
That's a good point. Just have to iterate through. So I'll probably just add it to the dictionary right away. So for in split token, say parse data, say key equals to dot. Practice this too far. I need to split that. So key equals to split token 0. Value equals to split token 1. We'll say that our strip of this. Strip that part out. Let me just print these to verify what they are. So print value. Let me get a key. Key looks good there. I'll get rid of the split tokens. Key side, value 3. Okay. Yeah, so that looks good. So split colon, strip white space, create a dictionary. All right, so let me create a dictionary now. Parse data key equals to value. So we do so if key in parse data. So if it's already in there, then I just want to append value. Else parse data key is equals to value. Then there's a case where it's an integer. Let me see. All right, so value 4. So if key. Okay, let me write a separate utility function for that. Define parse type token if how do I want to do this? Parse. Let's see, values 4. Let me say value. Okay, I want to check if the quotes are in the value or if an integer type. Yeah, and no, that won't work. Parse int. Okay, I guess I'll check if. How do I check if that's inside? Yeah, escape character. I'm trying to figure out how to check if the open quotes is inside the value, and if it's not, I just parse it to an integer.
Yeah, so I guess you could use in, which will do a linear search of the string, or
I can just check the first part as well of the token.
You can, yeah, you can also just check like the specific position. Yeah. For that, and then return. So the output has okay, yeah, so it keeps it. So value. And I assume that there would be no other characters but a double quotes open, or would there be anything else? Yeah, we can assume that. We can assume that, yeah, it's just the double quotes for describing strings.
Okay. Else int of value. We'll test this to make sure that's working right. So parse type. So if key in parse next. So let's say value equals to parse type of value. Say parse value. Let me print that as well. Let me see what this looks like. Invalid for int with based value 2. Okay, I have to. There's still some strip. I think there's an else strip as well. Let me check. Oh, I didn't actually strip the. Yeah, so let me try if there's an else strip. All right, so no So parse data key. All right, because this should be, I probably want to use a default dict and make the import of it. Collections, import default dict. And I think the default can just be a empty list. Of course, that must be callable. I mean, that's overcomplicated for now. Come back to optimizations later. So it's saying this append. So it's saying this is a string. That parse data. So parse value is 1. Okay, I see. I forgot to put the list right here. Except if there's only one value, you don't want a list. So I'll have to add the list if there's more than one. All right, so that's the case. I have to go in, I have to create that as a, I have to update it. Here's a update function. We say list of values equals to take what's already in here, and then I'll add to it. And value so this is equal to, so what happens if there's 2? If it's 2, it'll be list of list. Okay, so if it's list of list, then that would cause an issue. So if length of parse data key is greater than 1, I just want to append right away. If it's greater than 1, do that. Else it's equal to 1. Then I'd want to take that parse, append it, and then set it to that list. Okay, let me try that. String is no attribute. Append value greater than 1. Okay, so it's just a single string. Parse value is 2. That's a 1. Where's 1 coming from? So key 3. Oh, value of 1. Here, value 2. Right, so key and parse data. If it's not, let's say parse data key. Make sure this is what I think it is. Okay, that's where the issue is. So in the output, if there's just one value, it's a single value. If there's more than one value, it should be a list of values. So that's that. And if something comes again for key 2, then you want to make it a list. Okay, so if key in parse data, if it's not in parse data. Okay, so if it's not in parse data 0, just set that string. If it's in there, then there is 1. You want to take that. Let me check. Dictionary update. Simplify things. Okay, yeah. So let me try using update instead. So if the keys is already in there, then I want to just update it as a list of values. Parse update as a list. Take keys. No attribute update. Okay, let me see something. Attribute updates. Let me address the main case first and come back to the edge case later. Where's the and value? Okay, so I figured that would work. So now I just have to fix the issue of a single value. Clean up these prints. It's cleaner. So key 2, value 2, key 3. So key 3 is good. Anything with multiple, well, except the extra quotes. So let's see. All right, so how do I just ensure a single value is a list? I'd probably just do it to string. It's probably the easiest.
So sorry, can you explain the problem you're trying to solve?
So the problem I'm trying to solve is if there's only a single value for the key, then you don't want the data type as a list. So right now I have a list that has a value 2, but the output should just be a string. So how I originally wanted to solve it is to assume that everything just starts as a string, and then if the key is already in the map, then you just replace that value with a list instead of a string. But I was running into some weird type errors for trying to change the value from a string to a list by taking what's already in the value and appending it together with a new string. So instead of losing time trying to fix those type errors, I figured I'd just do something less optimal, and I'll just modify it after creating the dictionary. So if I do a key val in data, if length of val is equal to 1, I'll say first data key equals to string of val. See if that just converts to
No, why string of val?
Because I'm trying to convert the list into a string. Actually, I don't need string of val. I can just get the first value since there's only one thing.
Yeah.
Val's unpacked for TV input. I have to do
the items
or items. That's what it is. So do I need to get rid of the extra quote at the front?
I guess. I mean, what you can do is to add like an assert, just to check that what's being returned is exactly is exactly the example.
Search parse is equal to parse data. The token assert. I'd have to import it. Let me see. Oh, probably don't need the. So output parse data. Oh, I guess I can't. I guess the console will already give me the output. Yeah, so it's an error. All right, so now I need to get rid of that quote in the front. So let me see how I can do that. So you have key to, let me remove all these print statements. All right, so key to value 2. I don't know if in Python assert assumes a single quote is different from a double quote for just the type.
No. So
that
if
part should be fine. It's just the value that's the issue.
String.
Yeah.
And I think you need to like strip out like the outer layer, right, of the quotes.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so how do I want to assume? Is there? Actually, I can probably just replace. Just do it as an empty. So what's the issue? The value. Where do I set the value? I set it in here. So let's say parse string. Replace. Yeah. Let's say get rid of that, and there's my empty string. Should get rid of it. There's no. All right, because some of them I don't want to replace it there. I want to do it in here. All right, so let me see what's the output now. Oh, it doesn't seem like that fixed it.
So I think you're replacing the wrong kind of quotes, right? So it's the other way around.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see it now.
So what now? So looks like we only replace it for the first element.
Yeah. And then the second one. Use that. I'll say base. So get rid of the 1, but the 2 has that issue. That's interesting. Where is the 2? The 2 is right here. Okay, so if you get a 2, oh, I see. Because we're checking if this is. I know. It's always that. So replace that with that. So 1 starts out. Oh, forget the F. So 1 starts as 1. That's good. 2 is 2. Is good. 3 is 3. Is good. Okay, so it's stripping them. So why is this 2 showing up like that? So let's do this to this 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So where's the issue then? Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
So is it possible that we're not appending what we've passed in a given case, right? So like we're passing it all right, but what are we putting in the array?
Oh, I have value right here. Got that one. Okay, there we go.
Okay, so it looks like what's been printed? Yeah. So it looks like we are starting properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to thanks for solving this, and basically just wanted to spend the rest of the time. I know we are kind of over time, but I've told like working at
Okay.
the other interviewer will leads the team you're interviewing with, so he can also probably answer like the questions in a bit more detail. But yeah, just to give me my own perspective.
Okay. So I guess I'm curious what brought you to in the first place.
Yeah, I guess it was sort of like similar reason. So what you had said. So I worked in like a more engineering, oriented more engineering oriented like finance company or whatever.
Yeah.
At that point, like especially for the particular division in which I work, like things tended to move very slowly, and you basically like were just like pushing bits, right?
Yeah.
So that grew a bit frustrating. On top of the general frustration of the pandemic, so like it needed a change, change of pace. So that was kind of the main impetus at that point to start searching, and I spoke with a couple of companies and figured that here there's an ongoing project where a lot of like the technology stack is being like sort of revamped, building like a common stack for like the portfolio managers, whereas previously everybody kind of sort of did their own stuff,
Yeah.
which meant that ramp up time was a bit high, right? So time to like hit the ground. So yeah, it seems like an interesting project.
Okay.
Multi-year, lots of like opportunity to leave an impact. So for instance, I've been able to in the team where I've worked on, been able to like influence how like we write Python here,
Yeah.
right? Which has been quite important. So yeah, that's the reason. That's the reasoning for me.
I'm actually curious about that. Why the team uses Python? I know C++ is pretty dominant in a lot of financial firms.
So we use a bunch of languages. So
Yeah.
the analytics library, which is sort of like the core of our like stack, is written in C++. So like that's where like the efficient computations are being done.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of low-level services also written in C++.
Okay.
So yeah, and we also use Java for some of our services. Python we tend to use for say services that don't have like any or don't have much like performance consideration.
Yeah.
So like for instance, the UI for a lot of the widgets that we build, they kind of get updated, in the order of seconds. So it's not really like critical real time kind of stuff. And typically we would have like, basically like you're not also like sharing stuff across, like lots of users. So you can basically like, replicate this easily.
Yeah.
On the civil side, we tend to do like aggregated computations, and yeah, you have to be a bit more in control in how you use memory and that kind of stuff. So like Python, because it's kind of straightforward for some services we are writing, where it's just like simple like
Yeah.
transformations, and orchestration of other services. But yeah, we do C++ still, and we have like a significant part of the team who writes C++.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Yeah, that's great to hear. That mostly covers everything I wanted to ask.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, join now, and yeah, he'll carry out the rest of the interview.